Now, let's discuss this in details. Okay, so when I couldn't get the money that was required to start the business, I quit. Yes. I dropped the idea, and that was the end of it. Okay, welcome to this episode of In Details podcast with EP8. And today I'm going to share with you the role of friendship in business development or starting a business on campus and even in personal growth. Yes, the role of friendship. How can your friend actually help you? How can good friendship actually help you to, start your business on campus? Okay, so when I couldn't find the money that was required, or when I couldn't raise the capital that was required to start the the magazine business, I just dropped the whole idea. I dumped everything, and then I went back to being a student, focus more on school, like my uncle said. So I just had to do that, and irrespective of the fact that I was going through severe hunger at this point, I also was going through some kind of, shall I say, mockery from my classmates. That like when the normal contributions that raise money for these class dues, pay this, and I wasn't just paying. They were like, you see this fine boy, you cannot even, you are this, you are stingy, you're stingy, you are this, you are that. But in reality, that was not the case. But people are always very judgmental, so they don't know what you're going through, but they're just very quick to cast stones. So I dropped the whole idea and I moved on with my life, and that was it. So one day I think I went for night classes, and while coming back from night classes, I was working with this group of guys. I think about three guys, 1, 2, 3, 3 guys, and I was the fourth guy. Okay, so on our way back to like 5 a.m., the guys were just talking about what they are going to do. One of them was like very braggadocious. Yeah, I think that's the word, braggadocious. So the guy was like, just wait and see now. In my IT, like my year 3, if I even go for IT, that I'll just have like car on this campus. I will just build my own house. I'll do this, I'll do that. And the other two guys me too. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. I was just walking there. All I knew was I just want to eat tomorrow. I just want to eat like right now. What they were saying was not concerning me. Like, anytime I hear like, "Oh, that's your business," me, I just want to eat like I'm freaking hungry. I just want to eat like right now. But they're like, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that. But the other guy was coming more from the motivational kind of angle, while one of the other guys too was being a little bit realistic. He was trying to show, okay, this is what I would do. So I liked the fact that it was specific about what he wanted to do. So, and his name is Fede Talk, actually, by the way. So I thought, okay, this is a nice guy. He's the kind of person. And that's when I remember that, it's true. There was a time I also wanted to do something, and I had something that I wanted to do. So that kind of like helped me, because I completely forgot that I ever wanted to do anything in my life. I forgot. So just hearing him say those things pricked me like, oh my God, this is it. So after then, I just started hanging out more with him. I got to know his place. I got to like whenever like when I'm in school, I like track him down. When he was in marine engineering, he's in marine engineering while I was in civil. So I just used to find a way to meet up with him. And I noticed to like, okay, this guy is cool. So we used to hang out together, just talk a little bit more, get to know ourselves. So I went back to my board and I had to review my stuff, and I realized, okay, fine. So since the whole press thing is not going to work, what can I do differently? But between that period I was still very depressed, like highly very depressed. Be plenty of, I know hunger can really depress someone. So this Sunday I went to church, and the good part was Faith was also my church member. We were in the same church too, so that really brought us together. So we're in the same church, and we're in the same unit too, media unit. But because of the whole just frustration thing, at some point I even stopped going to church, because I just at home. So that Sunday I was at home safe. Okay, and I was even in the media unit, but due to the whole inconsistent, I was not considering going to church because I was just really, really frustrated. So I just stopped. But that Sunday I just felt like go to church. I was at the peak of it. Go to church. So I just wore my clothes. It was like around past 10. I was already late for church, and I was feeling bad too, like I'm late. So, but I just had to wear my clothes, and I went to church. So when I got to church, first thing I saw was my director. She just looked at me like, "Oh, this boy, I've come today," and I was embarrassed too. So I just went inside, went to the back seat, our media stand, and I sat down and I covered my face. So when I covered my face, I realized that, oh, I placed my head on someone's phone. So I was like, oh, whose phone is this? And I picked it up. It was the red phone, a red Infinix phone. I just turned it over. Oh, nice phone. And I pressed the power button. The phone was on. I like swiped up the screen, and there was no password. And what I saw there was 48 ways to earn money as a student. Before now, I used to use the internet, but I don't know why it never occurred to me that I could really find answers to my problem on the internet. I don't know why I never had that idea before. So I just started reading, screen. Oh, I saw a lot of things, dry cleaning, renting these, selling books, blogging. There's so many things I saw. What I did was I just read through all of it, and I was like, wow. Like the answers to my problem was actually on the internet, and I've been using a smartphone. But I used to stop at WhatsApp, and Facebook, chatting with girls. Ouch, I didn't say that. So that was why I stopped. Like, I just felt like, oh man, and that was it for me. That was the peak of it for me. The joy that I had that day. I just placed the phone back on the table, stood up, and savings was over for me for that day. That was my message for that day. I just went back, I copied the URL, I went back to the house, and I sat down and I read through the article very well, and then I realized that, okay, in all those things, I found blogging. So blogging and the magazine, they didn't look very different. It was more like having the magazine but on the internet. So, ooh la la, I got it. So it's not like I threw away the the magazine idea. It's just that I made it in a more flexible format. And I realized that the cost of starting a blog was not as high as, and I didn't have to handle the whole logistics, inventory, keeping the magazines and printing and storage. I didn't have to handle any of those things. It was just you and your smartphone and the internet. So that was the idea for me. But I still had the challenge of, the money, because there was like nothing. There was like, when I say no, there was no money. So I still had that challenge of how do I raise the capital that is required to actually start the blog. So that was it. But that moment, that was the best thing that was a revolutionary point for my life. And that is it. So if you do not, I think it is very, very, I'm not even thinking, it is very necessary for you to be able to connect with smart people on campus. You just have to, because you are who you hang out with. The people that you hang out with are just going to influence your life, positively or negatively. So, and that is just the case here. So please be very intentional about the friends you have on campus. If you want to, make first class, you're the bookie kind of person, go and have friends that are really bookie and are really making first class. If you want to do business on campus, go and look for people that are really doing business. You are who you hang out with. That is short and simple. So thank you very much for listening to this episode. This is actually very lengthy. This is about almost 10 minutes, but I appreciate the time you've taken to listen. I hope you learned something valuable from this episode. If you did, please share this with a friend. Someone on your list needs to hear this. Help a friend, help a life. Be a good friend to your friend. Okay, and then if you have any questions, please just ask them on the comment section wherever you are, or you send me a message on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is 0815-9098-538. So just send me a message and let's see how we could help you and how you could get started. So thank you, and see you in the next episode where we'll talk about how I actually got the capital to start the blog. Thank you for listening to Inditalks podcast. This podcast is brought to you by color.com.